Hello everyone, today I will explain about applied linguistics and language use. Before we start, I want to introduce myself as Miftahul Jannah with number ID 33220204. And let's we start. Applied linguistics is a field that uses linguistic knowledge to address to real-world language-related problems and improve language practice. It focuses on practical application of linguistic theory, such as language learning, teaching, communication, and interpretation. Language matters such much in our everyday thinking, our communication with one another, that invisible problems. Applied linguistics exists to try to explain the passion and suggest solutions to the problems. These are problems of language use, the well-known ones of what it means to be correct, of whether some accent or better than others, of the language disadvantages some children have faced at school because of their social class or incapacity of understanding instruction on domestic appliances and on official documents. Those problems are not only language problems, they concern feeling about ourselves, our insecurity, and our identify, our children's attitudes to others. And for the table contents, there are 4 language correct as an applied linguistic problem, correctness and the applied linguistic, and some factors in forensic linguistic and applied statistic. Language and correctness is as an applied linguistic problem. Being correct for a user of English means converting the rules of convention of standard English. Guides on how to be correct, or more usually how to be incorrect, abound as a morality type injunction on the need to maintain correctness. Let us take some example of the correct of these various areas. Shibboleths, construction which may be considered as wrong by many people now will be regarded as quite acceptable in the next generation. Effective writing, another demonstration of correct English, is said to be effective writing which display clear thinking given the difficulty of constructing and a good piece of the writing. It's not surprising that even well-known writers can fail to achieve the clarity they desired. Since in one sense making a text more correct is to redraft it so as to make it better, more effective is in context, then perhaps we should accept that correct English is simply good English, and incorrect is bad. Social class markers. When parents say of their teenage children that they don't have their language, what they probably mean is that young people use somewhat different vocabulary. This different is an example of the general case of the different group mark their speech in a way that distinguish it from the others. This group distinctions in that of the linguistic markers of social class, which is English has been standardized as marking the upper, non, and upper, as for the example like in the presentation. Of course, these variants are linguistic trivial and therefore do not hinder communication. Sociality, however, they are not all trivial because they mark social difference. Correctness and the applied linguistic. For the applied linguistics, there are very questions that belong within applied linguistics, and to them the applied linguistics has three responses. The first theoretical and has to do with people concerned for correctness means, and the answer for the applied linguistics is somewhat unexpectedly. That is represented just how semantic is speakers' use of a language. The second response follow that for the applied linguistics, these are pre and post perceptive. Few are themselves a part of the correctness problem, and to dismiss them as irrelevant or uniform or indeed trivial is a turn away from the real used language to laboratory. Third, the applied linguistics must be more than objectively critical and spectacle, in the sense of making informed assessment of the correctness issues. Some factors in forensic linguistics. First, forensic linguistics has been defined as the stylistic analysis of statements made to the police by those accused by criminal activity. As for the relevant factors as educational, specialist professional knowledge, linguistic, and phonographic. Applied statistics. Statistics occupies the middle group between linguistics and literature. The question the statistician address is how does the writer gain the effect that this text seems to produce. Applied linguistics, securities, and speculations, but its primary contribution to specialize appear to lie in the analysis that then in the design of specialized reading materials, and applied linguistic perspective adds the dimension to the reading of literature. It reminds us that it's rooted in ordinary discourse and situation. And just that about applied linguistic and language use from me, the presentation, and thank you.